Is Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road, is that gonna supercharge XRP like crazy? We're gonna talk about that today, my friends. What do we have today?
Some of you guys know about Hidden Road, but it's the documentation is what counts. Okay, that's what we want to point out for you guys. So let's go ahead and cite this from Smoke once again. And he states Hidden Road's acquisition would supercharge XRP's utility. He points out this for Ripple, this is a bold move to expand from being primarily a cross-border payments and crypto liquidity provider into a full-scale institutional finance player. Look at what it also mentions here. By owning Hidden Road, Ripple gains a platform to offer prime brokerage services, trading, custody, financing, and clearing to hedge funds and financial institutions. I did a ZBEC outline. It might not be released to you guys yet, but we highlighted hedge funds. Interesting how to see how it all comes together, because even with ZBEC, we know about some of the key connections, even to Ripple XRP. Some people say it's speculative, but we have done some of that deep dive. Shout out to Rue Black. So could this supercharge XRP's utility as well? Well, yeah. Even Greg Garlinghouse pointed out some of the key things. But the fact that Hidden Road plans to migrate its post-trade clearing onto the XRPL, man, oh man. That showcases the blockchain's ability to handle high-volume institutional flows. I love how it says flows, Jesse, because I think about, obviously, quant flow. This brings us to the next part. In the next part, you see in the other citation, Smoke references specifically this. He states, remember the Bank of France. What's the Bank of France? It's Banque de France. The features of XRP to issue Europe's central bank digital currency. Interesting, because when we blow that up, even on the bottom, as we zoom in a little bit more, has this highlight. A report from CPA Australia. CPA Australia, that's interesting. Quant has ties, obviously, Australia, because ISO TC 307. But whatever the case be, they note that France has openly discussed Ripple XRP, you see it right there, as a possible platform for Europe's central digital currency, and basically reiterates the preferential features of XRP as follows. But Ripple's proposal is an example of how some features of blockchain technology may be incompatible with the pursuit of CBDCs. However, there are configurations that existing technology which can satisfy the security and speed required by such projects. In my opinion, Jesse, without even getting further into it, and we'll have you come back into the frame. To me, this screams quant's utility. There is the answer for that solution that Ripple would need. Some people will say it's Axelar. I'll say yes and no. Say yes on the EVM sidechains. But in reality, quant even solves that use case as well.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. It's just a few taps. You can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
Some of your thoughts.
Yeah, so it's like I've explained before. So we're seeing Ripple has a CBDC platform, okay? And in one of my videos, I explained that the CBDCs are being built on sidechains, but I didn't use the right terminology there. I meant they're being built on private ledgers of the XRP ledger. Okay, and this is all documented on the Ripple website. They have a CBDC platform as well. You can build multiple CBDCs, and I'm telling you, it's so easy to issue a CBDC on Ripple at the XRP ledger. It's so unreal. One of my videos, I showed the interview with the head of CBDC relations for Ripple, and I can't remember the guy that I forget the guy that interviewed him, but he's talking about how they issue CBDCs. Oh my goodness, it's on XRP Ledger. It's such a joke. I'm telling you, it's like walking in the store going to buy a chip. It's so easy. It's unreal. So I explained that how the Hyperledger Foundation document showed how all the CBDCs are being built on the XRP ledger, and all the CBDCs have RTGS systems, and it shows the XRP ledger is the global RTGS system, right? And like I've been kicking and screaming, the unified ledger, shared ledger, regulated liability network, it's all the XRP ledger. But where Quant plays a crucial role here is that the XRP ledger is the internet of value. Okay, you got all the CBDCs being built on the XRP ledger, and some on Stellar likely also, because it's technically a clone of the XRP ledger. It's the same code, and so all the money, this is the internet of value. Okay, and all the CBDCs on the XRP ledger. But Quant, the legacy systems that exist today, they cannot talk to blockchain, and all of the use cases and the value and the money. All the use cases and all the demand, the use cases and different industries that will create demand for this new money, all of these industries are trapped in the legacy systems. So every different industry, healthcare, supply chain management, data, everything, well, import, export, oil, everything, commodity. It's all trapped in these legacy systems. So what Quant allows is it allows all these legacy systems to connect into the XRP ledger, which is shared ledger. Okay, that's why Gilbert Verdian said we partnered with R3. They're bringing over the shared ledger. So Quant allows the whole world to connect into the legacy systems to connect into the XRP ledger, which is a blockchain. Okay, and also all the other blockchains as well. Okay, because you have to bring the use cases to this new money. You have to bring the legacy systems. The whole world right now runs on legacy systems, and it cannot talk blockchain. So you have to bridge it somehow. And this is the crucial interoperability that Quant is bringing. Quant is allowing the whole world to connect into this shared ledger, the XRP ledger, and also, like I said, any other blockchain as well, and allows the world called multi-chain applications. Okay, so these multi-chain applications, what you're doing is you're picking the best features of each blockchain, and you're creating an MDApp. Only Quant can do that, like I said before. Only Quant can do that. Okay, and so by building multi-chain applications using the best features of each blockchain, what you're doing, and by also connecting the legacy systems into blockchain, what you're doing is you're creating use cases, you're creating solutions for these CBDCs. You're creating solutions. So that's why in Project Rosalind, for example, you're seeing the commercial banks, and you see you saw Bank of Canada and Bank of England, for example, involved in Project Rosalind, where Quant said they were the key infrastructure layer for this project. Okay, and I think it was R3 that was partnered with them as well, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, so you see all the tech companies in Project Rosalind, what they're doing is they're building solutions in these sandboxes, these testing grounds. They're building MDApps, multi-chain applications using Quant's technology, and they're building all these different MDApps, which are Quant solutions using multiple blockchains. Sometimes they'll use 5 blockchains, maybe 10, maybe 8, maybe 3. All depends the solution what they're trying to build, right? But all of the different tech companies are involved all the tech companies are all involved in all of these innovation hub projects around the world, which is headed by the BIS, which is the Bank for International Settlements, the central banks for all central banks. Okay, so you see all the tech companies involved there, and like I said, they're building multi-chain application using Quant's technology, and these are solutions so that the world will be able to use CBDCs, and which are built on the XRP ledger primarily. It's not a good thing. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm dead set against CBDCs, but we're gonna have them. It's even Bible prophecy. And, Jesus said 2,000 years ago we're gonna have a cashless society. So it's written in the Word as well. Without getting too preachy, it's so it's gonna happen whether I like it or not. It's part of the drill.
So guys, listen to this. This will really, really pound home everything Jesse has been mentioning. Now he mentioned CBDCs, and he mentioned about the XRP ledger, etc., etc. This is why we do the research and why we bring it to you guys. Check this out. This is going to complement it very, very well. So we pull up more from our brother in the community, Smoke. This is how FedNow comes into the mix. Anything, that's why you guys saw this mention on the thumbnail. As we pull it up, what do we have? Well, it's this. The most relevant crypto asset for wholesale CBDCs is Ripple XRP. Checkmark. Documented. What in the world is Smoke referencing? Well, as we pull this up, What he's referencing is in the citation on the very bottom. It comes from Central Bank Digital Currency Policymaker Toolkit. Now, this is interesting because in the highlight, you see about the whole thing of the section, the policymaker considers whether how domestic and international digital currency and payment ecosystems influence decisions around CBDC. But look what it says here in regard to fast retail payment systems. Well, you see here, for example, the BIR, Sweden, FPS, UK Fast, and Singapore, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, FedNow service in the United States under development, but boom, boil it, mash it, stick it in the stew. Most relevant for wholesale CBDC. Examples, JP Morgan's coin and Ripple's XRP. Remember how Jesse also pointed out the whole thing of legacy market? Does this not pound home why this guy brings freaking alpha? Look what it says. Example, Swift GPI initiative. Again, this is not highlighted, but it's okay. And again, crypto assets designed for interbank or intrabank payment and settlements. Again, Ripple's XRP. That's a big deal moving forward, and we're glad to bring it to you guys because it gives you an idea of why we cite so many things. That is major, absolutely major. All right, you may think that's it. It's not. How would you like to hear it from an actual person other than us? Well, Ripple already offers a dedicated platform for central banks to issue wholesale CBDCs on the XRP ledger. Pounding home, once again, Jesse's comments and research. Again, listen to this. This is under 2 minutes. We're going to listen closely on this. Man, oh man. What a excellent deep dive we're bringing you guys. Once again, here we go.
Another finds. What is already real of Ripple? What is already real of XRPL being used or considered for CBDCs? First, Ripple already employs the XRP ledger to provide secure, efficient, and scalable infrastructure for CBDCs, both wholesale, retail, and also cross-border payments. The financial institutions and industries have a great confidence towards Ripple. And the platform itself, Ripple already offers a dedicated platform for central banks to create, issue, and manage their own CBDCs for wholesale and retail. So they have already had some contact with these institutions and also allowing the development for the expected features. And specifically about the Interledger protocol, it allows interoperability and cross-border payments, connecting other digital currencies and financial systems, and security and compliance again. There are the cryptographic algorithms and consensus mechanisms, so central banks can implement necessary controls and monitoring to meet anti-money laundering and also counter-terrorist finance standards. And also our things that are already real about XRP. If you have to put in a briefly, I've chosen 7 main points that we can highlight here. First, the Interledger protocol, it allows interoperability. Second, the gateway model, it enables us to have connectivity. Third, decentralized exchange DEX allows us to have decentralized trades. The federated side chains enables us to have scalability and customization. The cross-chain bridge allows us to have assets trade and interoperability. And sixth, the comprehensive API suite. CBDCs integration and programmable money are allowed due to this feature. And seventh, and finally, there have been already many strategic partnerships and pilots that Ripple has been involved with, and it allows like many use cases and industry standards like to be considered and also use the XRP ledger protocol.
All right, Jesse, so check this out before I kick it over to you. Number one thing that was mentioned there, right, was basically programmable money. Okay, so I'm immediately thinking this screams quant. They play a factor there. Number two, the guy mentions, for example, standards. Thinking about that also screams quant, also screams ISO 222. And the third thing, obviously, is what we just talked about, where they stand in regard to Interledger protocol, and of course the whole thing of CBDCs. Again, it just pounds home everything you just mentioned, and I love doing this. In this space, I do this with Rue Black, I do this with Channing. I love pounding home brothers in the space of what they have and then complementing that much more, because guess what, guys? We want to make sense for you all and to give you guys some examples with real people. This person obviously connected to Interledger Protocol, ILP, and of course the Ripple plug. But again, I want to hear from you before we wrap up this particular video, because I know you got quite a bit with your notes that you want to go over, Jesse.
Oh my goodness, you're making it too easy for me, bro. You and Smoke Dog are making it too easy. It's unreal. Where do I start? Okay, so this CBDC Ripple Toolkit, Policy Toolkit from for Ripple CBDC Policy Toolkit. I believe the same toolkit I saw like this has existed for like 6-7 years, this toolkit. And Ripple has been giving that to the central banks around the world, and they're following that policy and building their CBDCs on the XRP ledger. That's the first thing. We see the AML, anti-money laundering, and CTF. When CBDCs are built on the XRP ledger, this guy was talking how they are anti-money laundering compliant and they'll be counterterrorism financing compliant as well. Why is that? Because RippleNet is fully compliant. A lot of people think like, oh, you know, they were worried about the lawsuit. A lot of people don't realize that RippleNet the whole time was fully compliant. It was anti-money laundering and know your customer and CTF as well compliant. So what else we got here? So oh my goodness, it's unreal. So I've been telling you guys that the unified ledger is the XRP ledger, right? And he's showing how all the BIS documents show the interledger protocol is connecting the unified ledgers. It's the unified ledgers are being connected by the interledger protocol. Okay, so that's why I said, like, I pro that 2 videos I just did recently. One is launching tomorrow. Literally, there's no doubt if the people watch those 2 videos, they will never ever think ever again that the unified ledger is quant. Okay, there is no doubt. Like, it's done. That debate is done. I'm sorry. The deception from the central banks and the BIS in regards to this unified ledger, regulated liability network, regulated settlement network, the deception is over. The lies are done. Okay, I've settled that in those two videos there. So, but that's why, for example, give you an example, just one. We're seeing the unified ledger being connected to another unified ledger with the interledger protocol. How the heck can that be quant? Because quant is only one overledger. If you see a unified ledger being connected to another unified ledger with interledger protocol, and if someone says that's quant, so you're implying 2 things. You're implying that quant needs the interledger protocol to connect to other things, first of all, and quant doesn't need anything to connect. Okay, so you're implying that basically quant doesn't have interoperability on its own. You would also be implying that there's more than one quant overledger that exists, because you're seeing a unified ledger being connected to another unified ledger. So how many quant overledgers are there? Okay, so that's 1 out of 9 ways that I prove in my videos without any doubt that the unified ledger, shared ledger, unified ledger is not quant. Okay, so anyways, so that's the other thing. The Bank of France building their CBDCs, of course they are. And we see Ripple buying all these companies, right? And I'm kind of wondering sometimes, like, if this was not all planned, if these companies are not like building these massive solutions and building these networks and so on just to be bought out by Ripple later on, because this has been planned for years, like I said. So I can't prove that. I haven't researched that regards, but I really wonder if, like, this Circle and now the what's the other one we talked about earlier, Hidden Road. I wonder if this is not all set up before. Like, they're just gonna build all these massive networks and build these solutions, and Ripple's just gonna come and buy them out. You know, these massive hedge funds and these massive global trading companies, and just Ripple comes and sweeps them and moves on. And it's like, I wonder if this not probably likely all planned. Some of them probably planned. Ripple's just gonna come and buy them out. So yeah, man, it's it's that interledger protocol. It's the only thing I've been screaming about last three. It's the reason I started doing videos. I was so tired of debating with a few of the quant members in the Telegram groups, and about, well, it's a long story what happened in those Telegram groups. Telegram groups for quant are like really terrible. Luckily, I've realized that 90% of the community, 99.9% of quant community is not like doesn't have the same mentality as what I saw from a few members in the Telegram group. I was very happy to see that, but I was so sick and tired of literally just showing the facts and then just being insulted from head to toe just for even suggesting that XRP played a role, right? So that's why I started doing the YouTube videos, is to clear this up for the community and show that the unified ledger is not quant, and to explain what is quant's role here, because quant's role is not a joke. Okay, like I said, like, these legacy systems, the whole world that exists today cannot connect to CBDCs, it cannot use this new form of money if quant doesn't exist. That's why I think when Gilbert Verdian said we did what Ripple couldn't do, or what Ripple tried to do, a lot of people think, oh, it's replacing Ripple. No. First of all, he has to say that, I think. And the other thing is, I think what he means is that they're connecting the legacy systems to this new Internet of Value. So, because the Interledger protocol and the XRP ledger is connecting all of the value exchange networks, and it's creating this new layer of money, this new Internet of Value. But the Interledger protocol doesn't solve the problem of connecting these legacy systems to this new infrastructure, to this new money, which is what Gilbert calls this new financial market infrastructure, this new FMI. The new FMI is Ripple. It's XRP. Okay, it's Ripple. This is the new financial market infrastructure. Call it the IMF if you want. Okay, like we talked about earlier. So, without Quant Solution, which is the absolute craziest, groundbreaking operating system with a router on top that you'll ever see, like I explained in some of my videos, this is the door to the fourth industrial revolution. We can't have the fourth industrial revolution without Quant. So when I'm preaching Quant is not the unified ledger, do not get me wrong, my friends. If you've watched my videos on Quant, you know that I am extremely bullish beyond comprehension on Quant. I encourage you to watch my Q&T playlist. Okay. I don't know if you watched them, brother, but listen, I am by no means dissing Quant. Okay, there's nothing bigger than Quant. It's the Internet of Trust, which is technically likely bigger. It's likely bigger than the Internet of Value. Okay, so there's nothing bigger than Quant. Okay, and not financial advice, but it's 150 times cheaper. I think it's about 150 times cheaper than XRP right now. Quant. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Just pointing out some interesting data.
Guys, he's referring to market cap, obviously not the price per token or coin or any of that stuff. So glad to share your insights. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this outline. That's going to wrap it up for us. But I think you guys get the gist of where we're going with it all. So simply do us a solid if you listen to this entire outline and type in this key phrase into the comments or word.
ILP, Interledger Protocol. ILP.
ILP. We'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Jesse over at Apex Crypto Consulting NFA, know what you have, know why you hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We'll see you on the next one.